Hey there, if you clicked on this video, you're probably new or still learning about Warhammer 40k. If you're not, this is exactly what this video is meant for. So when I first started learning about the lore of 40k, the most confusing thing I ran into was the timeline, such as when did blah 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 happen, or was it before X or after X. Therefore, for this video, I'm going to explain in depth the chronology of the Imperium, since most of the lore in 40k is from the Imperium's point of view. And I gotta say, there was a lot more to timekeeping than I thought first going into the research for this topic. So in the Imperium, there are two forms of dating system. The check number system, which is what I assume what most people know, and the Era Indomitus system, the latter of which was only implemented after the resurrection of Primarch Rubute Gilliman after the Great Rift. So let's begin with the first and most commonly seen, the check number system. This is the standard timekeeping system used before the Indomitus system. It is partially based on the Gregorian calendar, in the way that it is Anno Domini, also known as AD or after death of Jesus Christ. No one knows why the Imperium uses AD, that information was long lost to time. Most people are familiar with, for example, the date of the Great Crusade, 798 M30. Now, most people will be able to derive that the M stands for millennia and the three numbers before the date are the year. A very common misconception and math mistake is that M30 does not mean it occurred in the year 30,000. M30 simply means that it's happening within the 30th millennium. Anyone who has taken advanced history courses will be able to understand that, for example, the 16th century is a period from the 1500s onwards, not the 1600s onwards. So 798.M30 will be in the year 29798, not 3798. You will be surprised by the number of people who don't realize this mistake. Even I have made this mistake quite a few times before. With that out of the way, there are four parts to the check number system. The first we did was the two most common numbers that are listed, which are the year and millennia. The other two are check number and year fraction. The year fraction is, as it sounds, breaking up 1 year into 1000 parts, fitting into the 3-number format. Each fraction is 8 hours and 45 minutes long. It is important to note that the average citizen in the Imperium does not use this format of timekeeping. It is only used for administrative and timekeeping records. Next, we have the most complex part, which is the check number, which refers to the accuracy of the data that is provided. A very simplistic explanation would that there are classes from 0 to 9, with lower being more accurate. Just to wrap things up, as an example, if let's say John's birth was recorded on Mars, it will be 1.745.667.M37. This will mean that his exact birth date was on September 28th of the year 36667 on Mars. Now, onto the Indomitus system. This is an incredibly convoluted system. All time is kept relative to the local world experiencing the Great Rift. To start, let's make an example. A certain time on Baal, homeworld of the Blood Angels. 3.6 host BCM.M41. There are four parts. First is the year, which is the first number 3, so 3 years. Then there's the second part, which means chrono segments, which are 8-hour segments of a standard day, so 6 segments equals 2 days. Then the third part is whether it is before or after the Great Rift, which can be denoted as a plus or minus, or explicitly said as post or prevo. Finally, the last part, which signifies which system the time is relative to, so in this case, Baal, so it will be BCM, as CM meaning Cicatrix Maledictum. And of course, we all know what M41 means. Now, to put it together, 3.6 post BCM.M41 would signify 3 years and 2 days after the Great Rift appeared relative to the Baal system. And there you have a breakdown of the Imperium's timekeeping records.